Hello, my name is Martin Richards and welcome to the presentation of my conceptual design. The purpose of this presentation is to demonstrate that the design has potential and to raise funds to bring this item into production and to develop and deploy a more advanced version of the design. For this experiment, we've been tasked with using the concepts illustrated within, but not confined to, Beyond Radical Design by Dun & Bradbury, Speculative Design by Benedict Singleton, Accelerate by Williams and Sherrington, and the module handout acceleration. The briefing in written form and as part of the discussions within the tutorial on the ideas behind conceptual design, we've looked at the work by Dun and Bradbury's cone graph of the possible, preferable, plausible and probable in order to ground our work as something that could actually be built at some unspecified time in the future. My own particular idea is one that draws on a future idea that's been with us since the first series of Star Trek, but has always been just around the corner, that of a universal translator. And we've been studying the concept of acceleration and that it's possible to introduce ideas, concepts and technologies such that they will impact on the development of mankind by the acceleration of social change through positive feedback as outlined in Acceleration Manifesto for Acceleration Politics by Williams and Schneck. In para 2 of the essay, they talk about planetary climate system, hot and cold wars, governments pursuing certain policies and the impact of the policies on the former middle class of the global north. In para 2 they talk about hemorrhagic global political ideology, and para 3 they introduce other philosophers such as Deleuze and Gautier, recognising that capitalism speeds deterritorialisation and territorialisation on the other hand. In short, it's global, it's all languages, and it's everything that can affect society. Now, para 5 and 7 they start the works of Marx and Lenin and include a piece originally published by Lenin and Pravda in 1918. I'll just go on to read this piece out now.
Социализм немыслим без масштабной капиталистической инженерии, основанной на последних открытиях современной науки. Это немыслимо без плановой государственной организации, которая держит десятки миллионов людей в строгом соблюдении единого стандарта в производстве и распределении. Мы, марксисты, всегда говорили об этом. И не стоит тратить 2 секунды на разговоры с людьми, которые этого не понимают. Анархисты и хорошая половина левых социалистических революционеров.
What you've just heard is the same text from the handout, but it's in its original Russian. Not only does Russian not share any common language roots with the English language, but it also uses a completely different alphabet. So you see, acceleration is not just a concept centred in this country and the English. Rather, it is as stated within the full study text we've been given a global issue, and that has been addressed by philosophers in a number of countries working and publishing their own native languages. As such, all of their work that we've become familiar with has first of all had to be translated into English. If it had not been possible to translate between one language and another, the concept of acceleration and in fact society as we know would be very different. And it is this aspect of life that my conceptual design is designed to impact and to accelerate societal change, not just here but everywhere. And to quote the motto of the BBC, let nations speak peace unto nation. As it is without communication, nothing else matters. I've chosen to call my device a RAT. That's a real-time automatic translator. And again, it's not a new concept. Indeed, it's been with us since the first series of Star Trek with Universal Translator. Whilst it's now possible to use translation features on desktop computers and limited translation functions on several handheld devices, the RAT is designed to work in a similar manner as the Universal Translator in that all the user has to do is to talk into a wearable device for that device to translate and then play the words spoken in the selected language. In this manner, two people can hold an actual conversation across various languages. As the device translates backwards and forwards between languages, the conversations are recorded and played back through the augmented reality glasses, allowing the person to check for errors and to assist them in actually learning the language. The ability to hold a conversation and to read text in real time across any language is a unique selling point with this conceptual design. In terms of technologies, this conceptual design is not far from removed from existing technologies and is composed of major components of existing PC software that runs on already existing hardware. What is new is the control software that glues it all together and the concept behind it. Headset. The headset contains not just the normal headphones and microphone arrangement, but it also contains contacts for the glasses. It also contains some very sophisticated noise cancellation software and digitization processing that allows for the detection and separation processing of differently pitched voices so that a person can use subvocalization. It's this subvocalization trick that makes the whole thing work. Now, when a person is talking normally, their voice is picked up by the microphone of the unit, and it simply listens to that voice for commands without passing the rest to the processor. At the same time, microphones within the sides of the headset speakers are used for noise cancellation are instead used to pass the audio that's around you to the processor for translation, and then are played back to the wearer in English. When the wearer switches their own tone of voice to that of subvocalization, the headset recognises the change in the audio and it is passed to the processor and speaker. The unit takes the sub-audio and processes it to the required language and plays the speech in that language through the speaker. I will now demonstrate subvocalization, and the remainder of this presentation will now take place in English, although I will in actual fact be talking another language.
Glasses. The glasses contain a camera and LED projection unit and is powered through the headset. The images from the camera are passed to the processor and speaker unit and are scanned into text in the same way as a desktop scanner. The text within the scan is then translated. The translated text is played in the headphones with a marker over the text in the glasses. We looked at overlaying the original text with the translation, but in practice this looks confusing. Processor and speaker. This is the brains of the device in that it contains a computer, battery and loudspeaker. The unit runs on a version of Windows and contains parts of Dragon Naturally Speaking alongside ABBA OCR software plus Babylon translation software. What's new though is the core software that brings together these products in order to carry out the translations in real time and enable a two-way conversation between people who could not previously understand each other without help from a third party. It is hoped that such a device could eventually be ported to mobile phone technology, although this would require an increase in processor power within not just phones but also within the digital headphones. In addition, the usage of an auxiliary microphone to pick up and discriminate the use of subvocalization would be needed. And that ends my presentation.